Just one day after the March for Unity took place in downtown Providenciales on Monday, March 8th, the controversial decision was made to cut the pay of civil servants in the TCI in the amount of 10%, leaving some to wonder if it was a coincidence or previously planned. Well, in an exclusive interview with social activist and former civil servant Audley Aswood, he expressed his feelings toward the decision and says that in tough times such as these, the decision is a clear sign that the British government will try to get away with all they can.
You know, what is sad right now is that in a time of global recession, that we continue to have tax upon new tax thrust upon us. Now we have the British coming in and say, okay, there's going to be a 10% cut. I really believe that if the law permitted a bigger than 10% cut, we'll be getting a bigger than 10% cut. That is the honest truth behind it. They are trying to get away with as much as possible. If they could get away with murder per se, they would do it.
Aswood is not the only person publicly expressing his thoughts on the matter. Chairman of the consultative forum, Carlos Simons, responded via email to the civil servants' pay reduction and wanted to let residents know that he and the forum were unaware of the pay cut. He said, quote, "Public servants and the general public should know that we became aware of this proposal only this morning. The news brought here by Mr. Capes and Mr. Jones this morning is even more earth-shattering to the people financially than the suspension last August of the Constitution was politically." Simons went on further to state that the reduction is substantially more than 10% and will hurt not only the family whose breadwinner is a public servant, but also affect those families emotionally and psychologically. He says he believes people will feel a sense of unappreciation and abandonment. He ended by stating, quote, "We reiterate that this step has been taken without reference to the forum. We are not convinced that there are no other options. Neither are we convinced that a 10% across-the-board reduction is the most equitable way of going about the matter, even if it was the only option. A 10% reduction on a salary of $1,200 per month is bound to hurt much more than a 10% reduction on a salary of $4,000 per month. What does across the board mean, and who does it include or exclude?" Since the word of the reduction spiraled across the TCI, one civil servant who wished not to be on camera told News 4 that civil servants are discouraged and she believes they are being victimized.
No, honestly, I think it's not fair at all. I think it's victimization just because of the march, the Unity March we had the other day. They decided to do this 10% pay cut, and it's not fair. People have lives, people have mortgages to pay, bills to pay. Right now, everyone is feeling very discouraged. I have not physically seen any change, but by hearing people talk, they're saying that, they're discouraged and they're not feeling up to it to work.
Also lending his voice to the outcry against the 10% pay cut is former Premier Michael Mizik, who in a statement to News 4 said he strongly condemns the actions taken by the governor. Mizik said, quote, "The continued lame excuses of the world recession is a cop-out and a smokescreen for the bad policy and incompetency of the governor and his horde of British advisors who don't know how to run a country, especially a developing black country in the Caribbean." For WIV4, I'm Amanda Miller.